Before we can get into this episode of the DevCast, be sure to like, subscribe, and join our community linked down below. Hello everyone and welcome to the DevCast, your weekly Roblox podcast for all Roblox-related content and personal up-close interviews and conversations with some of your favorite Roblox creators. I am your host, Dev and this is my co-host, Unix developer. Today we're here with TheAmazeman, a Roblox developer known for his iconic Roblox Titanic game, as well as survive the end of classic Roblox, as well as the Cube Simulator and survive a plane crash. Please welcome TheAmazeman. Woo! Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Amaze. So I just want to actually just firstly get started, but by having to say, I think it's safe to say that your history regarding, the making of the Roblox Titanic is quite well documented. So, however, I just want to ask you in particular, so, we could go on about that all day, but I actually wanted to ask you, what started your actual burning passion for making a Titanic game in general?
It starts when I was a young kid, about 8 or 9 years old. I had a Titanic cake when I was on my 9th birthday. So my parents were well informed about my Titanic obsession, and they got me 20 plus Titanic books. I probably scrolled through at least a few times. And and then I also watched the Titanic 1997 movie by James Cameron over 50 times, no doubt.
Whoa, 50 times? That's wild.
Yeah, that's a lot of hours, but not pales in comparison to the hours I spent developing Roblox Titanic. So from 2009 to 2015, I was the sole developer of Roblox Titanic as it was played on the profile on Roblox. And then in 2015, I co-founded Virtual Reality Games with Inyo22 as we wanted to bring our talents together. And what we ended up doing was just keep on working on the Roblox Titanic game, as that was still being played a lot. And then with our combined talents throughout the years 2016 to current day, we've expanded the Roblox Titanic to over 150 total million views, 170 plus total if you count the classic Titanic combined with it.
Yeah.
So it just has exploded in popularity, and we keep on working on it over time. It's not like we're only focused on that, because we have other games as well. However, and we want to make more games than the 3 that we currently have on Virtual Reality Games. But we work on it as a long-term project. We look at it as a marathon and not a sprint. So yes, there are sprints in development, and that's how we do work, but we don't focus on it 24/7 So we do have to notice that that's not a sustainable way to work on a game for a decade of my life now, and half of a decade for the rest of the team. And then one more thing was that Inyo22 and I met on Roblox messages in 2011. He showed me his Titanic, so it's not like we just came out of nowhere and then like Inyo was like, yeah, let's do this. And I was like, yeah, I agree. I agreed many years before to go check out his Titanic, and we actually tried to make something in 2011. However, we had a syncing method that was laggy for Roblox at the time because it was physics, and in 2015, there was a breakthrough with finding out a better syncing method so that we could control the simulation more rather than rely on Roblox physics. And that's a very simplified version of how it started in the first place. Was in 2009, I went to a Titanic museum while I was visiting Branson, Missouri, in the United States. It was to this Titanic museum, and it had ignited my Titanic obsession that I had 3 plus years prior. But then those 3 years I wasn't really into it, and I joined Roblox in 2008, and this was in 2009 that this happened. And so it just followed after that I got home and then created the Titanic.
That's awesome.
Blocky version, the classic blocky version, right after that, as there was a spark of interest after that.
Yeah. Oh, well, I that history alone is quite varied. Just having to meet certain people by chance, I find that quite fascinating, and that kind of catapulted you more deeper into this whole of this obsession with the Titanic, but and how it all essentially came to be. So, in terms of that, I just want to actually also ask, because of course, I'm sure you also had inspiration from, media, people, and everything around you essentially. But are there actually any developers that you actually know surrounding you within this current moment that actually also inspire you, other than just any other Titanic developer such as Inio?
Yeah, sure. There are many developers that you can look up to and see what they're
Yeah.
doing. I don't actually have any like specific names to
Oh,
give out. I just
yeah,
the general the general uh, the general feel of
yeah,
mostly what helped me a lot in 2018, 2019 was going on the developer forum and seeing what people are working on and also explaining
yeah,
ideas that could improve Roblox as a whole. I did that a lot.
yeah,
I kind of have drifted away from that now and I'm more focused on my own community.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I can't really give any names as of recent.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's completely understandable. Understandable, and of course, as you know, with every journey that everyone takes when it comes to actually making a Roblox game, and such as with the Titanic game and how iconic it actually really is. Of course, there must have likely been certain failures along the way. So I would like to particularly ask: was there any specific large failure that you had, and did you learn anything from it?
The I would say time from the time of the entirety of the lifetime of this game, the hard times fell around 2016
Yeah,
and 2017.
yeah,
What happened was when group games came out long before, like 2013 or 2014, it was very clear that groups would be the future of publishing games because of game studios and being able to have all that flexibility with payouts.
yeah,
And so I jumped on that trend whereas I had this other game that was popular from all of the previous buildup and all the previous algorithms leading to this game link, and I switched that off and
yeah,
turned it into a new entire link
yeah.
on the group. And so this was very hard to gain back all of the momentum that it had for the previous
Yeah.
5 years. And
Oh no.
so it was tough to build up that audience again. And then of course there were a few comments like this game is copied from the original, and it's like no, we are the original. Just look at the creator of the group. That happened a few times, and it was really funny. But now that it's like become like we have kept at it and we have been able to get through that hard time. So that was a very hard time of financial stress because yes, DevX came out in 2013,
Yeah.
and I was in college. I started college 2 months prior to that, so I was also trying to look out for other part-time jobs. Then this DevX thing started happening, and I was like, oh, I have a part-time job
Yeah.
income now. Now I just need to make sure that I can sustain that and pay for my college while I attended. And so that was extremely stressful, and I barely made it through without uh, with a few maybe like a semester or whatever of help from my parents. So it's like it was an extremely tough time because of that, and also not to mention the tough times that In Year 22 had to go through.
Yeah.
He grew up in northern Nevada. He grew up in northern Nevada, and he worked on the railroad, which it didn't pay like very much, but it did help him get through stuff. But that combined with the Roblox income is what really helped him out. And
Mm.
there's other podcasts, and he
Yeah.
says that he wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for the help that this game has generated for him. So just
Yeah.
have to do a massive thanks because that's an entire life saved because of this game.
Mm.
And it's just a fascinating look of how this reality of like starting a business, it does touch lives, and it's really heartwarming to look at it like that. And it's important because it helps it helps motivation, and
Yeah.
you have to get this done. It's like you have to
That's
get this
true.
done. There's a sense of urgency.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of developers, even in this current moment in time, even including myself, there's actually a lot of peer pressure. You may, a lot of people may not think of it, but when you're an actual developer, there is actually a lot of peer pressure for you to gain that certain success, to actually make that money, so you could achieve whatever goal or dream that you have. I think I remember, I think your brother Sim Builder. I remember he said that you guys actually shared like a single computer at one point. I think, or I could be wrong. Probably, was that actually a struggle at all?
Yeah, that podcast I watched it a couple weeks ago. It brought a lot of memories back, and I was like, wow, I don't even remember having those memories.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that he was able to bring them back to fruition. It was heartwarming to watch that podcast as well.
Mm.
Did it matter in the end? I don't think so, because what we did was we would just share our
Yeah.
knowledge while we were on a single computer, and then I don't think it lasted very long because I do remember having my own computer
Mm.
quite early on in Roblox.
Oh, I
You
see.
know, I also played a lot of SimCity 4 before I got onto Roblox,
Oh, I
and so
see.
I think it's not clear like when we got the second computer. I can't remember that exact,
Yeah.
but it must have been 2006 to 2007 ish, about that
Yeah.
time. So right before Roblox, right before we both joined Roblox in 2008.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. That's. Wait. You said about 2008. Wait. The computer must have been a real square one, wasn't it? Would it be like one of those old monitors? I would say. It wouldn't
Yeah,
have
it's
been a
pretty.
thin one. I wouldn't imagine it to be.
Hey, if I ever go look at some old family picture albums and see it, I will definitely mention it somewhere on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you're definitely a lot older than me. I remember just growing up with like square TVs and stuff like that, and I never actually even managed to ever get onto a square computer yet. So, it must have been quite interesting during that time. All right. So far, yeah, we're just going to actually take a short break, and yeah, we're just going to be moving on. Just moving on quite a bit later. Okay, we're just going to take a short break right now. All right. Yeah, now we are back. All right. Okay, so here's a few questions that we're just going to essentially ask you before we end off this podcast. These are mostly just more personal type questions. So, for example, let's just say, do you invest in Roblox stocks at the current moment?
yes, I am invested in Roblox stock.
Mm.
I
Well,
think
oh yeah, sorry.
there's a there's some talk. You know, I taken economics classes
Yeah.
in college. Now they say don't invest in the company you work for, so it's very true. Because if the
Yeah.
company goes under, not only do you lose your income itself, but you also lose your investments. So that's not very good.
Yeah.
However, I think there's a little bit of course, I don't have like 100% of my investments in Roblox
Yeah.
stock.
Yeah.
I'm not going to advocate for that.
That's very
But
dangerous.
yeah, that's very dangerous. I'm invested in many other companies too. The the thing is with Roblox, there's so many games that if one game particularly fails, for example, if my game fails,
Yeah.
there's still other tons of other games that are making Roblox profits. So that investment is still going to be paying off for a long time,
Yeah.
especially if they offer dividends, which they currently do not. So, but
Uh,
anyway,
that would be sweet though.
the yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
So
awesome.
some dividends.
so the main point is that the Roblox games itself can fail, and Roblox will still, as a whole, win. And so I think that's a very, very strong business
Mm.
model, and that's why I'm invested in Roblox.
Mm. Yeah, usually for me when it comes to investing stocks, it's a lot. It's like a very interesting waters really. But yeah, it's all about yeah. I think I think I asked certain other people about this, and they just said, well, you can gamble with stocks, but yeah, just don't invest your life in them. That's yeah, because yeah, you will essentially lose everything. But yeah, I find that quite interesting. Um, I just wanted to actually ask, do you actually happen to play any Roblox games? Do you actually have any favorite Roblox games that you like to play? If you happen to play
I
any.
like, I like, I've always liked, and I still like tower defense games
Oh
and
yeah,
city building games.
yeah,
Restaurant Tycoon is a good one,
mm,
and a couple others in that genre that are similar to that type of game.
yeah.
Theme Park Tycoon is a really good one,
Oh yeah,
but
that
I
one
haven't.
was
That is a
amazing.
banger.
As a banger, yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't played those in a while. Like
I
I've
made a
put
huge
many hours.
mistake on that game.
Oh no, what did you do, Unix?
Well, on my other
Your
account,
twister.
I brought money, but I didn't save it to the plot. So I brought out the big cash about 3, 4 times,
Oh
and it was
no.
losing it. And I was like, where is it going? Because it wasn't saving to the plot.
Oh,
So then I
that's.
had to call in Dens on Twitter, and he did the deed and sorted it all out. But it was just so embarrassing
I see.
How did that happen in the first place?
because I
Yeah.
was just being naive.
But like, what did
Oh,
you
I
do
didn't
exactly?
understand. Well, you buy the money, and because I went onto the new plot and I was trying to put the money on there. I didn't realize that you have to save it
Oh.
before you change the plot over. So I changed it over to the plot, and I just lost that money.
Oh. I see what you mean. Nah, I've also made some silly games. I think I spent like 50,000 Robux on a Game Pass for an empty base plate, and that was like back in like 2014 or something. I was so dumb, and that was like with OBC money. It was a disaster.
God.
Yeah, I literally cried. That was like the most tormenting time of my life ever. That was a lot of money, and yeah, because I was dumb. So yeah, we all make some strange decisions as well.
And
But,
mistakes. So.
yeah. Okay. Well, do you happen to have any? No. Oh, okay. This is actually a great question. So far, recently RDC has been announced, of course, as you know, as both in person and virtual. I want to firstly ask, are you excited for RDC? And the second one essentially is, how do you think things are going to essentially work out? Are you actually also attending RDC this year?
Yes, so I'm really excited about RDC. It's been a long time since there was a in real life official Roblox event, so I am planning on attending RDC in real life in San Francisco. I have booked an Airbnb for Virtual Valley Games devs who can make it. Not all of us can make it,
Yeah.
but the ones who are, we are going to be staying in the Airbnb, which is really exciting. And yeah, I'm just really excited to meet new people and
Yeah.
talk about things that I'm interested in and that other people are interested in.
Yeah. I just want to ask just in terms of in RDC, I think it used to be broadcasted and live streamed. Do you happen to actually know why it isn't broadcasted and live streamed anymore? I think they closed it, didn't they? Because I remember they used to actually have a page where literally everyone on the website could literally view RDC, but they don't do that anymore. Do you happen to actually know why they actually stopped that tradition? I was just actually wondering myself. I don't know if you.
I don't know why they stopped that tradition, but they do re-upload all of the talks afterwards, so you can still see it. You just don't see it live.
Well, you see, the thing is, I actually went to the Roblox YouTube channel and I checked RDC 2019, and there were like only 3 total videos. So I was like, whoa, did they actually only have 3 sessions only? I was like, surely there must have been more sessions. Usually there's like different sections, like there would like maybe be 7 different talks, or even like up to 13 or 23, like videos and multiple ones. But in 2019, they only had like 3. So I was like, it's like, what? What happened to RDC? You know? But
I'm not aware of that.
Oh, okay. Well, I just thought it was just something interesting, but yeah. Just anyway, moving on. Yeah, I think it's great that you're attending RDC this year. That's awesome. So do you happen to actually have any thoughts on Roblox clothing? Is it would you say it's the future of Roblox? Would you say it's a necessary update? What are your thoughts on 3D clothing? Is it the future? Wow.
Does seem very futuristic. I have not really read up on it very much. However, the concept of 3D clothing mixed in with 2D clothing,
Yeah.
it's kind of so there's the Roblox purists where R6 is the only thing people should use.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
and then
true.
there's the
Yeah.
and then there's the Roblox creative types who are like, we should be able to express ourselves however we want. And I think that's where Roblox is leaning towards. And so if some people want to be in 3D clothing and some people are in 2D clothing, I think that's just going to be part of the Roblox ecosystem.
Yeah.
And I think developers would be able to remove the 3D clothing if they wanted to for their game. So I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
If developers are able to customize what they want, for example, we're still able to force R6 in the game versus R15
Yeah.
or both. If developers are continuously able to customize their experience for their audience and their niche, then it's okay.
Yeah. Well,
Roblox don't really have a choice though. Think about it, because let's say tomorrow Roblox ditch R6 or R15, that's the big games are going to crash and break.
There's
then their income then breaks.
Well.
So it's not like Roblox have a choice.
Yeah, they can't cut it off. They have to phase things in. If they do cut it off suddenly, there will be a lot of problems. Yeah.
Then they lose their income.
I mean, there actually are some R6
games
games. I think that there are some R6 games. I think that are actually making quite a hefty pocket.
Well, the problem is that a lot of R6 games, if you make it R15, they break because they weren't made for it.
No, you mean?
especially
So,
animations.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like we have animations for our games that are only working on R15.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a lot of upkeep to make it work for R6 as well.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually quite terrified about clothing because it makes me wonder if it's actually going to break certain games, because, some games have certain armor systems with R15 and stuff like
Right.
that, especially survival games putting on an armor or something like that on your body. So it makes me wonder if someone's already wearing actual physical clothing on their body, will it actually disrupt the actual armor placing on your body? So yeah, and that
Right.
does actually make me a bit nervous because, when I'm making a game in future, I gotta worry about clothing now. And I think that's
Yeah.
one of the last things people want. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. As long as it's going to be a 3D object that you can see in Roblox
Yeah.
Studio, your play solo or whatever. So you're going to be able to see
Yeah.
what it's named and to remove it in your scripts.
Yeah.
At least I would hope so. I don't know why Roblox would go against their initial object-oriented system. The main point is Roblox is trying to add so many things. They're going to have to upkeep all of this. So that's
Yeah.
kind of, we should,
Oh.
as developers, test them. Like, are you going to be able to upkeep all of this stuff, Roblox? Why do you keep adding new
Yeah.
stuff if the old stuff can't be upkeeped? Like,
Yeah.
2D clothing copying is still a big problem in the catalog. How are
Mm.
they going to do that
Oh.
for 3D clothing?
Did you see what happened with the KSI event? With the new KSI package, what happened was when people equipped that KSI package in R6, your body went completely invisible. You could not use the package in R6. They didn't even think about it. It was like, you know what, let's just make it for R15 and moving forward. But they completely forgot R6
Or
exists.
they probably might have knew that was a problem. They probably looked at the time on their watch and probably thought,
I don't know,
screwed.
maybe. Probably, I don't know.
Well,
Maybe.
they fix it later.
Yeah.
That's not the problem now.
Yeah, that was wild.
It's all up to if Roblox can upkeep it and not want to phase it out due to large upkeeps, which they have phased out things due to large upkeeps before. So that is alarming. But
Yeah.
at the same time, in the meantime, if developers are able to just cut out the entire 3D clothing and not have it in their game, then that's a good start.
I think, I think the greatest way to phase 3D clothing into Roblox is for them to actually make templates, 3D model templates, where you can actually texture and draw on top of the shirts and stuff like that. Because first of all, as you guys know, we're not all UGC creators. I don't know if you're a UGC creator. I don't know if you're in the UGC program at all. But, if they were to keep it to UGC only, that's going to be quite limiting. But, if they somehow figure out a way to keep it at the exact same way, just with 3D, like an actual folder with 3D, just templates of all different types of varied clothing, I think it would make things a lot more easier. It would actually stop people from guessing what the clothing actually has to be like when it comes to actually fitting it onto the character. They actually have specific dimensions and everything fit on. And I think I would be quite excited to actually texture some stuff. And yeah, you would just have to learn how to do texturing skill, but I think it would be quite cool in the end. I would like to make, you can make Virtual Valley merch, maybe. I don't know, you see, with an actual, maybe like a hoodie, I don't know, something cool, yeah.
Yeah, our modelers could really get into that. Sounds exciting. However, I'm just a programmer, so I don't really have any comment on that.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I can comment on it, and
I can model somewhat.
it's great. I can model all the clothing. Brilliant. Texturing. Nightmare.
Yeah, a nightmare, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to texturing. Because you have to unwrap the UVs and stuff like that. It does get a bit complicated.
That's fine. I can unwrap the UV. That's all fine. That's piss.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get over to the texturing, it just fall apart. It just flop.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I need to get some expensive Adobe program.
Yeah.
Or I could just...
All right.
Time will tell.
Yeah, well, we're actually coming towards the end of the podcast. There's actually just the last few questions I'm going to ask you, and we're essentially going to be done. Do you actually happen to listen to any podcasts? Are there any favorite podcasts that you listen to? Because we are on a podcast after all.
Yeah, Roblox-related podcasts. I've listened to the one by Bantech. I've appeared on the Bantech one as well.
Oh, I see.
I think there was one by CK Studios.
Yeah, it's actually quite a niche thing, I will have to say. Yeah, Roblox podcasts, they're not growing large anytime soon. It really is a niche market, but, I'm just, No, it's I think it's more of a matter of actual dedication when it comes to actually speaking to Roblox creators. And it does get quite tough. And I think a lot of people usually do give up. They're like, oh, this is so exhausting. I've got to find a new guest every week. It is quite yeah. And then to keep it up, it is quite a hefty job. But I think most it's done
other
for ages.
podcasts. Other podcasts. I just have played Roblox Titanic with Dieter plays on this podcast that was called. Sorry, it's by where is my shirt?
Oh yeah, where is my shirt? Yeah, Nate. What a legend, yeah. Nate is great.
Yeah, me and Inyo22 were the first guests on his Roadblocks podcast in April 2020.
Wow.
And so that was really fun to do. And then I appeared on a few after that. And then I also appear on Jesse Gillette. He's a YouTuber and he does ship related and aircraft related, all kinds of vessel related content on YouTube. Not only Roblox stuff, but other stuff as well, like sandbox games.
Yeah.
And I've appeared on his YouTube channel quite a few times to talk about updates to Roblox Titanic, as he's the official trailer creator.
Yeah.
And so I do enjoy talking directly to the Titanic community.
Yeah.
Especially the Roblox Titanic community.
Yeah.
And also the developer community, like, for example, this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, we have spoken to a lot of developers. We're actually probably going to lean towards the side of just usually everyone. Yeah, we did have Sketch on. So, yeah, we're essentially for everyone. Roblox developers, any content creator. We have, like, a varied, all sorts of people. But, it's quite interesting that you were the...
lot of insight.
Yeah, first guest to, I think it was Nate's podcast, I think. Or, yeah. Bantech was actually the first guest for our podcast, which is quite interesting. Yeah, he was for the first episode, so I was like, oh, that's awesome, because you've been on Bantech's podcast as well. So, yeah, that's quite awesome. I just want to ask, what do you do in your free time? Do you have any, like, specific things that you... Yeah, I don't know.
I go on a lot of walks, and I go hiking, I walk my dog.
Yeah.
And I go on road trips, and I hang out with...
It's quite cool.
Yeah, I like adventures, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, as you know, actually, before what we were talking about before the podcast even started, like I said, there's not a lot of developers who actually get out of their house and go touch grass or probably even shower. So, I mean, I don't know. That's a space. I don't know whether this... Okay, I mean, maybe it's true somewhat. I don't know.
See, I think we should break out of the stereotype. I think that developers are cool people that want to get out in the world. They just are in their shell still. Yeah. And I think that if you find people to go on adventures with, you should do it. And you should take full advantage of the free time that you do have, because it makes you more productive when you get back into your dev room and start developing.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that, but then there is another barrier to it, because developers don't exactly go out to socialize that much.
Yeah,
that's the people that are in college. They all have their college friends and that. And the problem is, when you're on the line doing a development, guess what? Your friend is in South Africa. It's not like you can just go out to South Africa.
Yeah, not everyone. But you know what? You know. But to be fair,
you get the idea.
Yeah, I'll let Amaze.
That's the difference.
Go through.
Go on.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I was once like that, where I wouldn't be able to do much outside because I had to call this college work, and then drowning that as well as developer work to try to even upkeep an income to pay for college was very tough. And as soon as it was 2018, where Inyo22 had gotten bronchitis, and he in his environment was in a smoky environment, and I invited him over to where I live in Arizona, and he was in just one state over in Nevada. So it was he drove overnight to come see me and be like, hey. And we had previously met in 2015, so it was about 3 years before this, and we had been talking online for a long time. So just like you said, like one friend's in the UK, one's in the US. It's like that happens all the time. And then it just so happened that he was in Nevada, just one state over, and he could drive over. And then he came over for a few months, and once he recovered from bronchitis, we actually just started working on the Roblox Titanic 2.0 update.
That's awesome.
And this is the update. this is the update that like has doubled or tripled and now quadrupled whatever our previous visits were. So this update was extremely important, and it helped revive the game because it was being very laggy, and many people crashed when they tried to play it. So we revived the game by having this in real life connection. We were able to be super productive, and we were able to get into our flow states a lot easier. And whenever there was a problem, we would just be able to solve it right away because we were so close in proximity. And we also did go on a lot of adventures together in the Arizona area where we would go hiking and stuff, and we would get out in nature. And now Inyo 22 does a lot of local stuff downtown with reviving this train, and he's just released he just has reached a big life goal of his so anyway, I can't really say it. I don't know when this podcast is coming out. However, go to Inyo 22's Twitter. Go to Inyo 22's Twitter as this is released, and he will be tweeting about it. And it's just this really exciting thing that players of Roblox Titanic have allowed this very historic moment of a train being revived that I can't really say much more about. But anyway, go to his Twitter. It's Inyo22RBLX. Yeah, he'll have a whole thing about this, and it's just amazing that via the Roblox Titanic being enough for Inyo and I to have enough to live on, as well as a part-time job for many other people of our developers. He has been able to use his free time, which is a lot because we get very efficient when we do work.
Yeah.
So his free time has been able to go to this reviving of a train, and that's what he does on his hobby, which he used to do as a job, and now he's switched, and now he does Roblox as the job, and then the train as a hobby. So I just find it very fascinating that Roblox developers are able to have this impact on the world that is not really looked at fully yet.
Yeah. Well, wait. So he's actually repairing a train, you said? Is it an old train or? Oh wow, that's an awesome hobby. I think sorry.
It's a very
cool.
It's a very exciting hobby.
He's like a mechanic. Is he literally just underneath there, just cranking?
He has an old bit of track and put on the track as well.
I've been able to help him with a few things here and there. In January of 2021, we went on a road trip to Texas to pick up a part that he found online, and it was just sitting in some dude's basement or in some dude's garage for 10 years, and it was a bell.
Gosh.
We
bell?
brought the bell.
What?
We brought the bell back in his Toyota Tacoma, and it was hilarious because I was driving for a while and I took a left turn too quickly, and the bell tipped over.
Oh no!
And then there were spider eggs. There were hundreds of spider eggs underneath the bell. We didn't check or anything. So
God, what a
instead of burning down the truck, we just had to stop at the nearest gas station ASAP and get all the spider eggs out. Could you imagine if they had hatched while we were at the next hotel?
Yeah, that's wild.
It was wild.
Gonna stop the car. All right, time to pour gasoline on this thing. We're burning the whole thing.
We'll think of how to get home after we burn this.
That's the next step. Yeah.
After you've torched it,
But all right. Actually, there's actually one last question that I'm just going to essentially ask, and then we're going to end off this podcast. What is the future so far looking for like for Virtual Valley games? What is your actual goals moving forward?
The end goal, and I don't really know if this is an end goal or just like a intermediate goal, is to make 10 intense simulation disasters that simulate intense human emotion within Roblox games.
Yeah.
Where you deal with scarcity and human nature and the fight for survival. That's very natural in all of us. However, the polite curtain of society is what is hiding this from reality for many of us.
Yeah.
And so the goal is always to have an intense experience on a Roblox game so you can learn about and potentially, hopefully not have an intense experience like that in real life.
So it's like the animal brain side of the game. You use your animal brain.
Yeah. Yeah, fight or
and
flight type of stuff.
I've had this tagline since 2015. It's BVG creates intense simulation experiences in the virtual world. And I guess what that means now is intense simulation experiences in the metaverse.
Yeah.
But I call it the virtual world. So. And I
Yeah.
call them experiences too. I
not
did this in
games.
2015. It's just really funny that Roblox is like, we are now experiences.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt very odd about that. I was like, oh, well, okay then. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like,
well-
okay, I'm an
I was a bit
experienced
confused.
developer.
I was very confused when it happened.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, they do say that you can call your games on Roblox
Okay.
you can call your experiences on Roblox games because it's you have a goal and stuff.
Yeah,
And so I do call Virtual Valley games for a reason.
Virtual
However,
Valley
I also
experiences.
I can also say that they're virtual.
Really?
I can also say that they're simulations
Yeah.
because they simulate they simulate stuff happening.
Mm. I think it'd be cool if you and Inyo actually collaborated and maybe survived like there was actually some of those old Roblox games where you would get in a train and the train drives off a cliff. Yeah, I think that would be a great collaboration. I think that'd be cool.
We have talked about that concept
That's
it's,
great.
So
Yeah.
anyway, we have several ideas that we're working on coming to fruition, and we'll see which one wins out for the next game. We kind of just we have a lot of ideas, and we're working on demos for many of them, and we'll see what one sticks and then which one we release next.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're intrigued how them demos go and
Yeah.
see what comes out at the other end.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm definitely excited for what's coming in the future with Virtual Valley Games. I just want to thank you for everyone for tuning into the DevCast, and we're going to be seeing you guys all next time.